Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 10th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You see BC, Washington, Oregon here. Check out this low pressure system, a fairly strong storm here, bringing quite a bit of wintry weather here across Pacific Northwest, mainly Cascades and east, but it is bringing some snowfall all the way out to the coastal range of Oregon. We're going to continue this active pattern here as we go through the next few days as well. We'll take a look at that in the forecast as well. Take a look at some of these details of this storm here coming up now, and you can see the potential for snow squalls does exist. National Weather Service Spokane showing this, and one of the highlights of those is that low visibility there, quarter mile or less, that gusty winds and blowing snow out there. Now, taking a look here, this is up towards Crater Lake. Look at this Crater Lake National Park webcam up there, and you can see just how much snowfall they're getting. That's continuing on through the day today. It's just that I'd share that with you out there. Nice snowy scene there. This is current observations. If you're going to the coast range of the Cascades, be prepared down across Oregon there. You can see some snow encroaching onto the roadways down there this morning. Now, taking a look here, this is the snow squall. Best chance of that includes eastern Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. There's a pretty strong set of showers actually moving through western Idaho right now near Boise there. So you can see some whiteout conditions are possible with that activity. This is current snow water equivalent across Idaho, for example. You can see some areas have above average, but there are some areas that even a little bit below average as we go here. But this storm will help with that snowpack as we go on in through today and early tomorrow. This is off for western Montana. You can see some areas below, some areas right around average here and a little bit above average. So, fairly average year so far across the region here, but we can always still continue to build that up as we go through this early spring period. Here's the current hazards. Look at all the winter storm warnings across the area, including some of eastern Washington, the Blue Mountains down there. A lot of winter weather advisories for the Cascades here. As you can see, winter storm warnings for the higher terrain of Idaho and all the way into Montana, etc. We got some wind advisories and some wind warnings out there actually as well. Now, this is looking at day one thunderstorm potential, mainly down here for western Oregon. Does include portions of the southern half of Idaho here as well. This is looking at the European right now, and you can clearly see this storm in action here as it moves across the region. There's some moderate snow up towards eastern Washington as well. And I don't have to tell you right now, a pretty good snow occurring across the state of Oregon as we go. Not much precipitation occurring across the Puget Sound, or really the Willamette Valley is not getting too much right now, but the Puget Sound is really kind of getting skunked precipitation-wise as we go. But as we go on in through this week in a little bit here, you can see by Sunday we're starting to bring a little bit of a wetter, warmer system into the region here as we go on in through Sunday night, Monday morning, shown there. Another frontal system moving through the area, and that would be about Monday late morning as you go on in through Monday afternoon here. This is looking at wind speeds, and if we put this ahead, let's go ahead and get to the current. We're about right here now, and you get that low pressure here, and you can see we've got some northerly winds coming through the Okanagan River Valley here, and it's bringing some gusty winds along with some snowfall across the area there. So you get some blowing snow with these north winds. There's another cold air conduit here through this river valley. It comes out of BC there, so that's bringing that activity here, and you can see the gusty southwest winds that are beginning going on across the eastern Washington area today. And then notice these westerly winds start to pick up as we go through this afternoon here, and this low pressure starts to move across the region here. Some gusty winds across Oregon down through Idaho as well as this system moves across the region here. If we go out far enough, let's see if we can see that next system bearing down on us. There it comes. But it's the NAM 3KM only goes to 60 hours there, so that system is just now starting to impact us here on into the future Sunday afternoon. Now, this is looking at apparent temperature. Put this into motion here, and you can see as you go through the day today, we warm up a bit here across western Washington. Not too much more cloud cover down here across Oregon as we go, but you can see pretty chilly temperatures across eastern Washington, Oregon. These overnight lows are pretty chilly as well. Even some teens showing up here as we go on into tomorrow morning. Warm up a bit tomorrow, and right back down into the freezer for a lot of places east of the Cascades. Watch out for that thawing and then refreezing, especially across the roadways out there. But you can see we are below average here from much of the region, but we do start to warm up a little bit as you go into Sunday across some of Oregon here with a little bit of a warmer system moving into the area shown there. Now taking a look here, this is total snow-Kuchera ratio. This is last night's European one, and you can see some nice amounts again coming across eastern Washington, Blue Mountains, winners of this, Idaho on in through Montana as well. Pretty good amounts across Oregon Cascades. A nice storm in progress here, but you can see largely skunked here across the Puget Sound. Not a good setup for snowfall here, and we are getting later in the year. This is looking at the 500 millibar somewhere up towards 18,000 feet. There's Alaska, BC, Washington, Oregon. There's that storm system currently moves across the region. You see we're getting more cold air spilling out over the Gulf of Alaska. It's going to move through as another system as we go on in through Sunday night, on in through Tuesday morning there. We keep the troughing open over the Gulf of Alaska here, continuing to pinwheel systems through there. But did you see that at the very end of the run here? Look at this, a little bit of a ridge trying to build here. Maybe we can string together a couple decent days here across the Pacific Northwest. No promises right now, but just something we've kind of been watching here over the last few days. Taking a look here at Seattle, you can see that we have been below average highs the entire month so far, and you can see the lows have been below average as well, and just kind of, spotty precipitation, not too much precipitation falling across the area here, kind of typical of a La Nina springtime. This is 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Not much change. We're going to remain below average a lot of the time here across Pacific Northwest. This is a precipitation outlook kind of favoring the southwest there, but does include the Pacific Northwest also. 8 to 14 day too. This goes all the way through March 23rd now, and you can kind of see that signal here still for the Pacific Northwest. 8 to 14 day precip to just a slightly above average signal there. This is looking at the Pacific North American oscillation. Negative means we have the troughing over the Pacific Northwest, and positive means we have the troughing further out across the Pacific here. So you can see kind of a little bit of a pattern change here as we go into mid-March coming up here. So we'll see what this brings here, but it does look like we're going to remain active here with some storm systems moving through the area, but there is a potential for some ridging and maybe a nice day or two somewhere embedded in here. And sometimes you can get half a nice day before the next storm system rolls in here. So we have that stuff to look forward to as we start to get on into spring here, but you can see kind of this trend towards later March going back into negative territory there. We'll see how that trends. And this is looking at the height anomaly here for Pacific North American negative. You can see that troughing over western portions of North America here. And this would be positive here where the storm track is more out over the Pacific Ocean. You got the ridging kind of over North America there. So this is looking at drought concerns. You can see Washington is not doing bad. There's actually no drought in the state of Washington right now officially, but you can see Oregon still dealing with some very exceptional drought and some extreme and severe drought across the area out there. Hopefully storms like this that come across the region are helping out, dropping some snowfall across some of the eastern slopes of the Cascades there in Oregon. The farmers out there really need that help. They're trying to get out of that drought, and I know there's big water concerns out there. So if you guys didn't hear the last few days, there is a new ENSO discussion out, and you can see that by the time we get towards August, September, October, November here, El Nino is favored here as we go on in through summer and on through the fall months here. You can see neutral would be gray and La Nina would be blue. Very low chance of La Nina returning again here for a fourth season here. It looks like we're headed towards El Nino, you guys. So yeah, this is what's going on. The storm system coming across the area. Watch out across the higher terrain here. There's a lot of winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings here, especially east of the Cascades. The snow squalls are out there. Heads up if you have to be out and about traveling out there. But this is nice for the snowpack. Hopefully we're dropping some snow across that drought area there for eastern Oregon here. But looks like we're going to remain generally below average here through the next, probably week to 10 days or so. We'll continue to watch this day by day as we go, but you can see more cold air moving out over the Gulf of Alaska here. It's going to help to develop another storm as we go through the weekend coming up here. So yeah, our nonstop action here for the late winter, early spring period, typical of a La Nina year here, but it's going to be interesting as we transition back to potential El Nino conditions here, because that might set us up for a little bit of a warmer spring next year. You can cross your fingers for those of you guys who like a little bit of warmer weather here across Pacific Northwest, but we'll continue to watch that as we go. We have plenty of time to look at that. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow. I hope you guys are having a good day. Make sure to click like and subscribe. Congratulations to all the weather station winners out there, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.